What's up? And it's been a minute, right, since I recorded a video for My Hero. I think the last video I did was chapter 334, which was like 2 weeks ago. And so with that, chapter 335 and 336 has come out. I already read 335. I read 336 earlier this morning, and I kind of want to just go with 336. 335 was basically a wrap up of Stars' efforts, and that she died, and like all of her companions went to see All Might and let her know the conditions of the battle and what really happened and what's going on. And so the students figure out that Stars' quirk really messed up All for One and Shigaraki. And so they basically lost a ton of their quirk, and they'll need a couple of days to recoup. And so there's that. And then that basically means we're going to see the students train more in order to upgrade for this final battle. And then that's what they basically say, All Might basically recounts how the students have grown and how strong they've gotten. And then after that we get a glimpse of the trailer. And to my surprise, I wasn't really paying attention to that trailer plot line. Well, I was, but then I kind of dropped it. I was like, nah, it's been a little too hard, too long, a little too late. You know what I mean? But they drop in. The community was like, oh, so the trailer was Hagakure. She's kind of obvious, right? Everybody's been calling her out because she hasn't been getting any development. She is barely there. She's the one who suggested they go to the mall, and that's where they met Shigaraki and stuff like that. And that's just logical, right? Well, call me stupid. Call Horikoshi just yanking the rug from under our feet and watching us fall on our ass. But this chapter 336, is title villain, and we see that both Midoriya and All Might made the front cover of Weekly Shonen Jump. It's looking pretty dope. And then we get this nice little color spread of everybody. I'm guessing they're showing everybody from the movie, which I still haven't seen. I'm hoping that I wasn't able to get to the theaters to see it, so I'm hoping they'll probably have some streaming maybe so I can react and get my thoughts on it. But yeah, I still haven't seen World Hero Nation or something like that, so I'll hopefully be able to see it soon. And so then we come into the chapter with everybody training. Bakugo and Deku fighting again, and after that, we basically see Bakugo and he's explaining his powers and how he's learned how to concentrate and fire over at endeavors, and now he's able to do it consistently now too. After all this training, and basically what he's doing is he's creating sweat spheres that he can use to fire out multiple shots at a time. And he's calling it his cluster. So that's actually pretty dope. And then, he's explaining how it's always usually hard to sweat. And so that's why he's got on the sweat too. But it's always freaking hot, so it wears him out quicker. So he's got to find that balance, right? And, Deku's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he's noticing how Todoroki is improving by using both his right and his left side at the same time, and we're getting the hint that he's combining it into one. So that's actually looking like he might have a dope power up. And I can't wait to see his fight with his brother Toya. So this is about to be outstanding. And then we cut to Kaminari, which is funny because I think about how a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's Kaminari, he's a traitor. And they're referencing how he was throwing up the L sign that the Liberation Army was throwing up. He's like, nah, that's just too on the nose, right? And so Kaminari is like, okay, well, you remember that All Out War from before? Aren't the villains weakened now? Since their two greatest aces are weak? And then And we got to Maka, you know, still sedated and, you know, in control and confined. And then Bakugo was like, no, you idiot. There's 3 points why you're wrong. One, even though we found a normal laboratory at Shigaraki's hideout, even the research facility, we still can't locate All For One, which means that he is a freak of nature when it comes to hiding. So there's that. Two, in the previous battle, which Momo chimes in now, she's like, two, in the previous battle, Shigaraki was still incomplete. And from that, we end up losing like a lot of heroes, more than half of our heroes. So the chances of us winning against the complete Shigaraki is still 50-50. And then three, the villains will be the ones that decide to start the battle, so they have the advantage, and we'll just have to be playing defense and picking up on the back end. So basically, we're at a disadvantage on all ends. We can't find All For One. Shigaraki, even though he was incomplete, if we fight him before he completes, he's still a monster. And then three, the villains get to start the battle, so they could easily take us out with a surprise attack. So we're on the back foot. And then Midoriya is like, yeah, we have that. Yeah, that is the problem. We still have to try to influence their actions. And he's like, I'm gonna head out soon and do some recon. And then Ida's like, no, we. You're not doing this alone. He's still under that mindset, but I think they finally got to do his head. And then that was my keyboard. And even then, they actually gained some leeway, and you know, was able to keep the minds of people at bay with Furuka's speech. That's what they meant, or that's what they say. And then Kaminari's like, all right, so in the end, no matter how much we force them into a corner, they're still laughing at us. And then after that, we cut to the forest, and we cut to Hagakure, who everybody's assuming is the spy, who is the traitor, quote unquote traitor. And then we cut to her thoughts, and she's like, oh man, ever since the mountain incident in Jaku, he's lost his entire demeanor. Everyone else was the same too though, but he was just different. And she's like, oh, I'm just so worried about him. And then in the distance we see some people having a conversation, talking about you gotta take another order from him. We can't just, you know, disobey him or else we'll all die. And then we cut back to Hagakure, and she's like, ever since Midoriya came back, I haven't seen you smile once. So now I'm worried. And then we cut back, and here's the rug pulled off from under us. Aoyama. Aoyama is the traitor. A lot of people have speculated this. A lot of people have made theories about this. A lot of people have pointed it out. And I don't know. I'm guessing like, cool little twist. Subvert expectations, make us think it's Hagakure, but then flipped at us and like, oh, y'all were right. I just wanted to twist your arm a little bit, you know. I didn't want to give it to you that easily, right? And so I haven't seen the community's reaction to this. I don't know if they're mad or they're happy or they're like, oh, too little, too late. We already figured this out. This was even more obvious. You know, people are gonna have their complaints, right? And so, I don't know. I guess I'm okay with this, but it's like, it's like in the later stages and kind of end game, so I don't know. My thoughts are kind of mixed on this, but disregarding that, we continue on with the chapter. Aoyama's parents are basically like giving us a lowdown that even before entering the school, he's listened to his orders. He, in the training camp, he managed to inform them about where they were going. And, you know, Aoyama's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I've done too much. My friends are getting hurt. People are getting hurt. all of this is my fault. And then the mother and father were like, we're not doing this because we like it either. We're doing this because we have no choice. We can't ignore his orders. He gave you. And you know what? I think I like the twist of this. So when we first hear about All For One's backstory, we see that we see that the people that came to him either wanted to be normal, and normal being in the sense that they didn't want the power that they have, or they wanted to be more than normal, in which case they wanted the power. And for Ayama's sake, being in a quirk-based society, his normal was he was actually quirkless when he was a child, which is rare. So he was quirkless. And so they went to All For One, and All For One bestowed to him a quirk. But knowing what we know about All For One, when he bestows a quirk, he actually puts a little bit of his lineage factor into the quirk that he's bestowing. That way he has a little, a little incentive on them to do his bidding. And so that Ayama has had no choice but to do All For One's bidding. And so he's the one behind the USJ incident. He's the one behind Kamino. He's the one behind the training camp. He's the one behind the mountain incident. His mountains, the whole award were being honored. So, yeah. All For One has got his clutches on Ayama. And like, Hagakure overhears this, is like, oh man, I can't believe it. I gotta tell somebody. I gotta tell the teachers. And so, Ayama's just lamenting and like he regrets everything he's done. He's wanting to expose himself because the guilt is just too much to bear. But he doesn't want to, endanger his parents. And so when he saw All For One being captured, he was like, oh, maybe this is his chance. But, obviously that isn't the case. And so now he's just crying and lamenting. And his parents are like, we beg you, you gotta keep doing this, otherwise we're all gonna die. And then, out the blue, we hear a little rustle. And then who do you know? Who else but Midoriya comes through, and he's overhearing the conversation. And he's like, I heard about something from Hagakure, so I came. She was like, something about the traitor, and it being you. And then the parents are trying to deflect. They're like, oh, he must have misheard her. What are you talking about? And then Ayama's like, calling Deku's name, and like he couldn't say anything. And he's like, I can't tell you, I can't, not you. You can't be the one to find out. And then Deku's like, oh man, Ayama-kun, you're the one who looked the most depressed after the battle at the mountain, so I figured something was up. I came looking for you. And then Ayama was like, yeah, I wanted to be an equal with you all, but then he goes out and says that, yeah, I'm the one that helped him. I'm a scumbag. I'm the one who helped All For One. And that's the end of the chapter. I got mixed feelings about this chapter, y'all. So at this point, I'm like, yeah, I like the fact that he subverted our expectations and tricked us. But at the same time, it's like you still are giving this a little late, don't you think? But now I'm also thinking like, when would have been a good time to give out this information? And when would have been a good time to let everybody know? And I'm also thinking it's a little bit too convenient that Deku is the one who figures this out before everybody else. And then again, he's the protagonist, so I wonder what he's gonna do with this information, if he's gonna rat snitch or if he's gonna, keep it quiet to himself. I mean, Hagakure is probably gonna tell everybody, and everybody's gonna know. They're gonna figure out what they want to do. He would lock him up or something like that. But I think that Deku is probably gonna change their minds because he's already dealt with somebody who's gotten the quirk bestowed, and he knows that if they rat him out, then All For One is just gonna destroy them. So we'll see how this goes. But for the most part, man, it's I have mixed feelings about this. It's a mixed feelings chapter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think about this chapter though. How do y'all feel? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you think that their traitor reveal is a little late, too little, too late? Or do you think that it's all fine and it's, nothing's wrong with this chapter? I'm glad that he subverted expectations. Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, follow me if you want to, nothing that's cool, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.